Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and this is our Ring of Honor show for the week. Let's jump right into it. First off, we have in the top prospect tournament match, Andrew Everett versus a Romantic Touch, who may or may not be Rhett Titus. Matter of fact, Veda Scott comes out and says so as much. Andrew Everett picks up the win. I think he's one of the guys that should be a favorite in this. Great wrestler, great addition to the roster. I think he could end up being something special with him. Good match, good start to the show. I kind of like the Romantic Touch. I think that's a cool little gimmick for Rhett Titus, kind of Midnight Rider-esque, but still pretty cool. Next up, we had Jay Briscoe challenging Adam Cole for Jay Briscoe's world title, not the Ring of Honor title. A decent little interaction between the two, continuing the feud a little bit further. I'd kind of like to see Jay descend into madness, kind of take a pun away from this Kevin Steen DVD they put out a few years back. But I'd like to see him descend into being an evil character coming off of this. Basically, he's always done everything right, blah blah blah, and where to get him. Got him screwed out of the world title. Maybe potentially winning the title back. Although, I never want to see another two-time Ring of Honor champion. Nothing against Austin Aries. I didn't think that it was the right decision to make him a two-time champion. I really thoroughly enjoyed the fact that you only had one reign as world champion in Ring of Honor. There's only been one person that's had two, and that's Aries. Everybody else only had one reign at the top. I'd like to see them keep it that way, to be honest with you. Plus, it makes the Austin Aries two reigns seem more special. Now, coming off of that, we went back to our top prospect tournament, and we had the fan favorite Cheeseburger going up against Hanson, which, if you haven't seen him before, he looks like he could fit in the Wyatt family with a little bit more bulk to his frame. Decent match, obviously. Cheeseburger bumped around like a maniac. Hanson picks up the win. He's someone to look to going forward in the tournament as well. I thought it was okay. I would have liked to see Cheeseburger pick up the cheap win. Cheeseburger's got a cult following, and I'm a fan of his. I think, the guy's, 140 pounds? He's trying his hardest to get it done in wrestling. Gotta respect that from the kid. I mean, he's got the heart and the determination. Now it's just a matter of putting the skill behind it and maybe picking up a little bit of size and weight to him. Speaking of heart and determination, we had our next match was scheduled to be Adam Page versus Mark Briscoe. However, the Decade, BJ Whitmer, Roderick Strong, and Jimmy Jacobs came out trying to recruit Briscoe. When he wouldn't join, they jumped him, which Page made the save, turned it into a tag match, which the Decade won under nefarious means. The thing of it is with the Decade, we've seen this before with Jimmy Jacobs. This will be his third group that he's been in, the Age of the Fall, Scum, and now the Decade. And I think they turned him heel too quickly off of earning his contract back after the Scum incidents. I don't mind Roderick Strong as a heel. He works good as a heel. He's been in a few factions, but it's been a little while since he has. BJ Whitmer, kind of the enforcer of the group. I'm glad to see he can actually wrestle. I'm really happy about that. To me, though, this group, it just doesn't fit into what Ring of Honor is doing. I mean, it's almost like they said, we got three good wrestlers with nothing to do, let's make a group out of them. Here you go. The shock factor was obviously BJ Whitmer turning on Eddie Edwards at Final Battle, but I don't know, it just, to me, and if you've watched this before, I'm a huge Jimmy Jacobs and Roderick Strong fan. I like BJ Whitmer too, not as big a fan as the other two, I just don't think this group. It's kind of reminds me of. Remember when Sean Waltman, X-Pac, he came out of. He was in the NWO as 6. He was in DX as X-Pac. And then when DX was over, they gave him X Factor with Just Incredible and Albert, and it didn't go over at all. This kind of reminds me of X Factor. It's 3 guys that I don't think are going to get over as a group. Just my opinion. Next up, we had 2 guys. One that I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. But one a little bit more so than the other, and that's Silas Young. I think that if they're not thinking about making Silas Young a world champion or at least a TV champion by the end of this year, whoever's doing the booking is smoking some serious crack. This guy has the it factor as a heel. He's amazingly technically gifted in the ring. He pulls you into the matches. He makes you give a shit about what's going on. He makes you want to see the good guy beat him with his nefarious actions. It's my word of the day, sorry folks. He was wrestling Tommaso Ciampa, who Ciampa picks up the win. Matt Taven comes out afterwards, looks like he's going to shake Ciampa's hand. Silas Young attacks both of them. It's... Jay Lethal makes a save, then we get a 3-way stare down. It was a good match, a really good main event for the show. I want to see Silas Young do something in Ring of Honor. I think the guy's awesome to me, in my opinion. I might be the only one to think so, but this is my review, so that's what I'm going to say. I love what Silas Young does, and I love what he's doing. But coming off of that, we're going to go into our ratings for the week. Now, if you've seen the show before, we have 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. Give the show a solid 3. A little bit fell flat. The decade portion fell flat. The main event was good. Cheeseburger vs. Hanson was a little bit too predictable. Andrew Everett versus a romantic touch, aka Red Titus, maybe, maybe not. You know how that goes. It kind of... The way the matches were set up, even without reading spoilers, which I didn't, I knew who the winner was going to be. And that kind of took the surprise out of everything to me. It made it a very middle-of-the-road show, not up to par with what Ring of Honor regularly does. But again, still a very watchable show. But basically, that's all I have to say about this. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of Heel Heat.